Some very, very sketchy details reaching us here at Sky Centre. Important enough to bring to you, though, at this early stage, we believe...
Breaking news this morning.
WBRC Fox 6 News Alert.
Good afternoon, I'm Jonathan Hardison with the latest on operating.
You never showed your pain, but stood instead a virtuous man of dignity and grace, immovable, inscrutable as stone.
Please don't. It's simply what I had to do. We'll find no dignity in covering up the way we feel. What son should standing waiting at his mother's grave stop his tears?
Are you all right?
My whole existence has, like most of us, been built upon the ones who gave me birth. And now they're gone. That's it. First Dad, now Mum. The only truth, I am alone.
Except for me.
It's not the same, Camilla. This love with us is all my life, but can never replace parental word, a mother's hand to hold. But here, the others, back to the statue. It's Catherine and William. Hello. You're radiant, despite the grave restrictions of the morning dress. Is your gift, my dear, what you've brought to us, a sense of fashion, better hair as well.
I never thought I'd see her pass away.
I felt the same.
How are you, Dad? It must be hard to deal with loss combined with gain. For soon at last you'll be king.
Not soon.
3 months.
Your father rules today.
I thought the coronation marked the change.
You're right, officially that's the case.
But England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, they cannot stand without a king or queen for the months it takes to organise a coronation.
Wales.
What?
Wales too. You missed it out.
Then Wales, and Wales too. Wales.
But surely constitutionally speaking...
Oh, sweet my dear, there is no constitution. Instead, tradition holds us to account.
Tradition then, it still means...
Tradition holds that on the death of kings, the next is monarch straight away. He needs no proclamation, no man shout, the queen is dead, long live the king. Your father ruled the moment grandly passed.
So Coronation Day itself is just the ancient costumes worn and lines to learn, a slice of theatre that's played for fun.
Not fun, I think, for me. I hate those things.
Oh, Harry, it's such a joy to see you, even in such morbid circumstances as this.
I might head off if that's okay. I know there's this thing, but I'm tired.
You want to go? Of course. We'll say you're ill if that's...
Yes, right, that's it. I don't feel well. Yeah.
Why? What's the matter?
Headache? That was all good, wasn't it? It went okay from what I could see.
Do you really have to go?
It's not, I mean, the whole... I've only been back a few days. Can't deal with all the chat, the people. It's such a change from being out there.
It's important, Harry.
Yeah, but the headache, though.
We should leave and go mingle with the crowds. A single round to be sufficient, and then we're back at the palace, yes?
That's right.
Where's George?
The nanny's taken him to Kensington. He needed sleep.
He didn't cry.
You what?
I thought he would. A child like that. But something in him understood, and so he watched and listened, and like the rest of us, kept his real emotions to himself. As a child, William, you were the same, for as a babe so silent in the cot, we worried he might quietly have died.
The same with George. It's parents' paranoia.
Of course, the ever-constant fear that one might somehow lose one's son.
But Dad, you're shaken up. Perhaps we should take the time to talk.
I'm sorry it must wait. James wants us now.
Charles, James will happily do whatever you command. You can spend time with William.
We'll see you later on.
All right.
Just Mr. Evans waiting now to speak before you walk together from the door. I warn you, the press are kettled up and waiting all this time. Expect their shot.
A moment alone, please, before it starts. Camilla, you as well. I'm sorry, but you understand.
I do.
At last, I needed room for thought to breathe. In every second since my mother died, I've been trapped by meetings. All these people ask me questions,
Talking.
fussing.
What to do? Expect I'll have opinion they're all good to go. Pre-wrapped and frozen like Finder's ready meals for one.
This is what I think.
As if I know.
My better thoughts, they start from scratch, slow cooked and brewed with time.
My life has been a lingering for the throne.
Sometimes I do confess, I imagined if my mother had been taken before her time.
A helicopter crash, a rare disease.
So at an early age I'd be in charge. Before me years of constant, stable rule.
But most of all, I'd hoped she'd keep in health. That's since the most outrageous dreams and hopes of all I'll ever have. And yet my life is full. So I am better thoughtful prince than king. Potential holds appeal, since in its castle walls one is protected from the awful shame of failure.
Your Majesty, the Prime Minister's here.
Send him in. No more. Exactly as Camilla said. Although the crown is yet to sit upon my head and burden me with gold, I am the king default and will ascend.
Your Majesty,
Prime Minister,
sincere condolences upon your loss.
a loss I think all her subjects share.
Of course we miss our queen, but you will feel a sharper pain, I'm sure. You felt she would have liked the service.
I trust she would, for it was planned by her.
I hope you heard the people outside cheer.
When? No. A cheer? A cheer for what?
Towards the end, from through the doors and walls we heard hip hip, and all at once there came hooray in 3 times repeated same. And although perhaps the tone was wrong, at least it showed they cared and loved the Queen.
I didn't hear. My mind must have been somewhere else.
Your Majesty, Mr. Evans, the press await.
We'll talk some more across the weeks to come.
We will indeed.
But now you must excuse me, for I have to walk from here and face the baying mob.
Your Majesty may not recall that we did decide for public reassurance you would walk with Mr. Evans at your side. The Crown and State, Prime Minister and King.
We did agree?
Indeed.
You're right.
Just so.
It's right, I don't recall. And now we're here, I feel instead I should remain aloft from politics and walk with royals alone. I'm sure, Prime Minister, you'll understand.
Of course, I'll go now and clear the way.
Such equal billing was a joy one, Prince. To share the stage did spread attention out. But now I'll rise to how things have to be. The Queen is dead. Long live the king. That's me.
understand we must respect a serious period of mourning and all that boo-hoo. But you deserve a classic night out. And I've got something that'll cheer you up. Import from my father, from Eastern Europe, it's black. That's all we know.
Hello, biatches! What up?
Speak English, kids.
What's all that?
Don't know what you mean. You look like you've been raped by Primark.
Undercover men.
What?
Heard about this place called New Cross. Thought I couldn't go in what I usually wear. Probably be stripped naked by, you know, the commoners. So, music's crap. One legitimate female in the place asked if she wanted to meet you. She was affirmative. Now you're out of the army, I thought you might want to, you know, cutesy do a pleb. Yeah, knob a pro. Not in the mood. Approach a subject from a different angle. Where is she? Toilet, making herself look presentable. Best she can. Her name's Jess. What's she like? Don't know, mate. Can't get past the voice.
Hello?
Jessica!
Not joking then.
What?
Here he is, Prince Harry.
Yeah?
Is Charles really your dad?
Oh, what?
Or was it the other one?
The other one.
Yeah, what's his name?
No.
Hewlett.
Hewitt.
Her butler or whatever.
Not the butler.
No, the butler didn't do it.
Because you're very ginger. If you haven't done a test yet, you should. Because if Hewlett was your dad instead, you'd be out of family.
What?
Free of it.
Why would I want to be free of it?
Because you hate it. Don't you?
No, he really doesn't.
You do. He does. This whole dressing up, getting wrecked. It's because you're part of this big thing, but you don't get anything back. You'll always be the drunken uncle, get married a few times, always pissed. It's a trap for you, isn't it?
That's what you think.
Yeah.
So what should I do then?
What?
What should I do instead?
Oh. You really want to know?
Okay, I think it's time for you to tap out, darling. Go on, off you pop. We've seen girls like you before. Won't be long before the camera phone comes out. Spencer, I think someone wants you at the bar.
Are you telling us to sod off, mate?
Yes, I am. You realise she's probably a socialist or something?
No, not wanted.
Harry, word of warning. She's just a bit of fun, yeah. That's all she's supposed to be. Pop and stop, yeah. Drive through. They're loyal!
There's something a bit sweet about you, isn't there?
That's what people say.
You come across really badly on TV, but in person, you're shy.
So are you going to answer my question?
Come on.
Where are we going?
Prince Harry. You have no idea.
Shall I be, Mother?
Thank you, yes, that's kind.
Well, good. So how shall we begin?
Well, oft I run through current legislation, or sometimes international matters might take precedence. But here today I thought we might commence by talking of a bill about to land upon your desk that seeks the royal approval.
Yes, what bill do you mean?
To limit future growth and mass expanse of runways. What environmental checks there are have long been out of date.
Sorry, much as this wants our attention, I had assumed we'd start with something else.
Of course, whichever subject you'd like.
Your bill concerning privacy that sets restrictions on the freedom of the press. I understand it's passed the House and will soon be British law, is that correct?
That is correct. The regulation of a press we feel is overdue.
I've read the bill.
You have? Well, good. What else is there to say? This bill has wide support across the House, both Commons and the Lords, and will arrive with you today for signature to enter into law.
You like this bill?
I absolutely do. For we have seen, and you yourself must know too well, the lasting wounds the press inflict. We cannot risk another murder case where phones belonging to the dead are hacked. It cannot be a right or civilized country in which, in any private place, a toilet, bedroom, might be there concealed a tiny camera that these photos splayed as front page news. The consequences thrown around the world and everlasting. So without a jury, judge, or evidence, a punishment is meted out, a life is ruined, reputation murdered.
You do not think a principle is here at stake, that something vital to our sense of freedom, both as individuals and country whole, is being risked?
I know the argument against, and yet...
The countless times we have, through media scrum, exposed corruption, both in public life and private, matters that constabulary or government cannot or won't attend. And who polices the police? Who holds those institutions to account that claim to be our guardians and serve us well?
Your Majesty, of course I understand that view and have myself considered where the balance lay. But both within the House of Commons and in every poll conducted across the land, there is opinion something must be done. This law is what your people want.
They want the leaders they elected standing up and making decisions they themselves cannot, for they have not time. They pay their taxes well so that we, or you, may take the time to study hard and make the right decision on the day.
I know, I have, and this is what we think. I have to say it does surprise that with the great intrusion that they've made into your life, you'd have left them untouched like this. What of the pack of wolves that mercilessly did hunt to death your late and much missed wife?
That's bold. So soon in our relationship.
What's bold?
To utilize Diana.
I'm sorry, but in fact it's rare to have to justify the passing of a law like this. I would have thought of all the victims you'd feel the strongest something must be done.
As a father, a man, a husband, yes, I do. But that's not who we are when sat with you. In here, not only am I a defender of the faith, but in addition I protect this country's unique force and way of life. All those who hold the strings held to account themselves in turn.
Your Majesty, thanks. I understand and say I will, if opportunity transpires, make sure I take your view into account. Perhaps we should move on to other things.
It is the bill on privacy that holds concern. And so I ask you to tell me what as my Prime Minister you do intend.
The law is made and passed. It is too late.
My views to you mean nothing then?
Your views mean much, but on this subject, yes.
Then our weekly meeting's done.
Your Majesty.
And thank you, Prime Minister. Though we don't agree, it's been most informative.
I do apologise if I've caused offence. I simply wanted to explain my view.
And so you have. We'll meet next week. If you could send her in, I think you'll know my next appointment well. Ah, Miss Stevens. Here you recognise my guest.
I'd not expected Mr. Evans.
I reasoned thus. In case there did arise an accusation that my vision here of left and right was being tilted out of proper balance only meeting one, I will from now make sure each week I have the usual half an hour with my good Prime Minister, but then make equal time for Leader of the Opposition too. How does this sound?
With all respect to Mr. Evans here, I feel it wise you understand these meetings begun in ghastly war, when Churchill came to weekly check the King was up to date, are part of a different scrutiny that cannot stand aloof from politics, but should instead reflect the way it works.
And Mr. Evans, you have a view.
Your mother never felt the need, but if it is your wish, then good, you must. But I should leave so that you can gather up opposing views from that I try to give.
Forgive me, sir, but I'm rather shocked by sarcasm. I would have thought that not to place in real conversation such as this. He seemed to be, well, quite annoyed.
He is a man of principle. I hope in time he will see our conversation between the two of us cannot threaten him, but merely gives respect. For instance, he believes we need this bill to safeguard privacy. I'm not so sure. Your party voted against it, am I right?
We did indeed. we felt as writ, it was restrictive to our freedom of the press.
And this, your vote, was in no way influenced by other factors. Need for good PR?
That's not...
I have it with authority you are good friends with editors, and have on numerous occasions had them round for tea.
The cut and thrust of public life, you know?
The briefing paper I had, it said at Christmas Eve you gifted one of them a horse.
Now look, that's lies, not true. It was a pony for her daughter, when our two families met for lunch one day, expressed a want for such a beast. And so thinking what to get them come Noel.
Despite all that, your group of friends is not why you decided to oppose the current law. Instead, it was on principle.
Correct. I do not think it right.
Well, it is too late. And so the first law passed as king will be a law that's dangerous. I had always hoped as crown I'd have some small but crucial influence over the state I'd given all my working life to serve.
It may not be too late to stop the law.
But the Houses of Parliament and Lords have cast their votes, and therefore when I sign the bill...
If you sign the bill. For surely that requirement remains your choice. That is the power you
A
possess.
ceremonial right, not one to use.
I hate to differ, but I think this strikes the heart of why we have a queen or king. They are the check and balance of our land. Perhaps I'm romantic, but I think the signature holds something more.
It's not our place. Would do more harm than good.
They're not important. Write your name in ink and unamended, let us into law.
Thank you, Miss Stevens.
Your Majesty.
I had hoped that once in place, an instinct here that had been dormant up till now would thrive and override this indecisive mind. But now I'm Majesty and feel the same.
A weakling shadow of what came before. But wait, what's that? I need to get some sleep.
I thought I saw a shimmering light. Just in the corner of my eye, a floating thing.
Again, she has gait I can recall, but who?
Hello?
She looks away, as if she's searching, seeking out.
Mother! She's gone. And now she has. I can't recall if she was there at all. Perhaps it was the light. What am I doing here? I'm certain all she was nerves and ills. I'll call my doctor now. Some sleeping pills.
News, Tristan, and not the sort you'd like.
You do surprise me, Nell, whenever you come rushing in, forget to knock, and with your scarf behind your shoulder thus, I know the shit has hit the fan indeed. Go on, let's take the spray so we can start to clean.
What's that? Looks important. It's from the King. This morning sent, but not by Interior Government servicemen, instead by hand, his underbutler. And here it seems to be a bill.
What bill?
On privacy. And where there should a signature be writ, is blank. And there in the space below is writ, assent reserved.
He's still around, the man that brought it hence.
I think so. He was quite shook up, and so he sat and then gave him Earl Grey tea.
Then ask him here.
All right, I will. It's just a joke. You shouldn't waste the time.
When last we spoke, he seemed disturbed about the passing of this bill. He didn't want it law at all, and so he asked for me to think again.
Prime Minister, the underbutler's here.
Thanks, Nell. And now please call the leader of the opposition and request that she at once come round to number 10. You say emergency if she prevaricates.
Emergency?
And make sure not a word of this gets out. Right then. Hello, I'm Tristan. What's your name?
It's Clive, Your Honour.
Clive, relax, and now in detail tell me about this letter brought.
At 11, when I would, on normal days, bring coffee, the King did turn and give to me the letter which you have there now, and said that I should take the letter and deliver it myself to Downing Street. I said perhaps he was better sticking to his own long-tested postal system, i.e. Royal Mail, but he was firm, and so not wanting to arouse regal ire early in a promising career, I donned my coat and through the rain approached the gates where they're surrounded by a crowd of tourists, all with camera phones. I said my piece, which was the truth to the policemen standing wait, and not responding, really all they did was laugh. And the more I stated royal purpose and intent, the more they laughed, and so through mockery I did become, I have to say, irate and railed against the ill of soulless men in blue. So that I do regret. But now at least you have the letter there, and your secretary Linda made me a lovely cup of tea.
Well, thank you, Clive. That's quite a story told. You may go back to Buckingham Palace and continue with your underbuttering.
Thank you both. I will.
Are you kidding me? Is this a bloody dream? It seems you're correct. Our king is mad and taken to communicate with us in methods from the 19th century.
It is a point. He wants us all, but mostly me, to think again upon this bill and then resend or not.
If word got out that he, within a month of sitting on the throne...
Before he has, the coronation's not for some time yet.
Right so. Before he's enthroned or got a crown to call his own, he's chosen to exert this power that his wiser mother never thought to use.
I always hoped that he, above the rest, possessed a mind to understand the world.
You hate the royals, Tristan. You always have.
I hated what they stood for, yes, but hoped that with a king who wanted...
Miss Davis, sir.
Well, that was quick. I wonder what she knows. It's good to see you, and thanks you came so soon.
Well, I was told emergency.
Please, have a look at this. It came today. Of course, all that we say inside this room is confidential, kept between ourselves.
Of course. I see. Have you spoken to the king?
Not yet.
You know I didn't like this bill at all.
I do, but that's not the point. So in this conference you had, did he give any hint he might differ like this?
I left him as I found him, sure that he would sign the bill.
And now that he has refused, what is your stance?
In fact, I do agree. We cannot have the king approving laws depending on his own opinion or the way he feels.
I thought that, as he said he liked a range of views from both sides of the house, we might together go and there persuade him.
I feel the message will sound best and most authoritative said by you.
And if once done he still won't sign, I'd have your full support in standing by the bill.
Of course.
Good then. I'll try to see the king today.
That sounds to me a plan, Prime Minister. It's uncharted waters we're thrust towards, but thank you for consulting me in thought. In this, be sure, you have my full support.
Leicester Square, quiz machines, tube platforms.
What's this then, your gallery?
Weatherspoons, Wagamama. They're full, just full of people.
Who's this? Queen Victoria? Ridiculous.
And then your best idea, Don Lenoir, a restaurant where you eat in the pitch darkness. They thought I was an estate agent. We spoke about mortgages. Then there's your flat, with no carpet and a boiler that doesn't work, but everything is yours. You can do what you want. TV, Doritos, curry. I want more, Jess, more of all that.
No one's stopping you.
No, yes, but I can't do this with my life.
Why not?
It's not what I was born into.
Then change it. Look at all of this. It's absurd it still exists. The world you were born into is paid for by those people in Wagamamas. You take money from their hard work and you spend it on portraits, palaces, and in your case, flights to Las Vegas. It's not your money to spend.
You're very beautiful.
Don't patronise me. Listen to what I'm saying.
I am. I know what you're saying and I agree with it. Just also saying you're beautiful as well.
Calm down. My mates you met last week want nothing less than the abolition of the monarchy.
Yes, I know.
But they also said, under no circumstances is society at odds with you.
Don't they?
Don't worry, I won't. I've had a great night. See you later, Harry.
It's just... You really look like you want to kiss me.
Yeah, but I don't.
Oh, excuse me, Your Highness. I'm interrupting.
No, this is James Cadbury Reese, the press advisor for the palace. He's worked for my father for 30 years. I know him really well. This is Jessica.
May I ask how you know the prince?
We met in a club.
Lovely.
James, we haven't been asleep since 2 days ago. We went to Sainsbury's. Do you know what Sainsbury's is?
I do.
It's the middle of the night and we just shop for stuff. I got a Scotch egg.
And were your security there to ensure that no footage was taken?
James, it's not like that.
Miss Jessica, may I ask what you do for a living?
Student
Of
art.
art.
Yes, I'm currently exploring Islam's relationship to pornography.
And do you see the relationship with Prince Henry of Wales lasting a long time?
With who?
Oh dear. Harry, how well do you know the young lady?
Yeah, really well. We talked tonight about everything. She's brilliant.
What's her surname?
What? Her name's Jess.
Jess what? Highness, your grandmother, the Queen of over 60 years, has recently passed away. The country's in a position that very few people have experienced before. This, perhaps, the most unstable moment the royal family will face. So, perhaps a conversation should be had about timing.
What's that supposed to mean?
Highness?
Right. That there is I'm not getting off with you, Harry. I've just had enough.
No, wait, please! I want you to stay.
Why?
Oh, what? My brother and his wife. Please, just be nice.
Ah, Harry, there you are. They said you'd been discovered parading round palace grounds.
And now we're leaving. Thanks a lot.
But
Goodbye.
wait! We haven't met. Always the same with Harry. Must be in his training. Some efficiency of drill or army thought means he forgets his manners. Hi, I'm Kate. And this is my husband, William.
No, wait! She doesn't understand. She's deaf and dumb. Not dumb that much, a bit. She speaks sometimes, but chooses when. And now is such a time she can't speak. And since she's deaf as well, she can't hear a word we're saying. That's why she isn't smiling much and looking at me in that funny way we really should be going.
Yeah. Okay. Hi. Of course I know who you are. William and Kate. Jesus.
This is unusual.
It's just showing her the
Are you
palace.
from Reading?
Yeah, why?
Heard the accent. Me too. Well, not like it was a village nearby.
I'm from Purley.
Purley. We used to go there sometimes and hang out on the weir.
We did that too. Smoked a bit of weed. Didn't know you were from there.
Hell yeah!
Right, that's it. We're going to bed. Okay.
Oh, separately. Separate beds.
I'm not really interested. Good to meet you, Jess.
You too, William. Weirdest day ever.
Perhaps just as you'd hoped he's growing up. She's quite unlike his normal horsey girls. This Jess I like. She's rather down to earth. But what's the matter, husband? Ever since we sat and had expansive breakfast while our king did talk, you seem distracted and pensive.
When offered what he'd wanted for so long, I thought Dad had seized the moment and renewed to go greet the people, smiling and talking with the press to ensure the public know the man who was about to hold the crown. Instead, by all accounts on what I've seen, he sits inside just reading books and bills. It isn't what I'd hoped.
Oh Lord, good William and Kate. They said I was to wait and soon the king would join. We didn't mention you were settled here as well. I'll quickly go and sit elsewhere.
Mr. Evans, stay a moment, please. We were just taking time to look upon the walls.
The walls, Duchess?
Indeed, for therein paint and brush the very best of kings and queens from days ago. Together they narrate a story of succession, of a change.
Yes, indeed. It is a time of change, that's true.
But sir, you look so pale. Distraught, you must sit down. We'd rather that than have you faint.
You're kind to me.
So sudden, what's the cause?
You will forgive me if I do not give the detail of my conference. It is a matter of some delicacy.
But if it causes such distress...
Of course, we understand and will not press on you. Perhaps some water.
Thanks. Again, you're both so kind.
It must be something virulent indeed that does affect the king as strongly as Prime Minister. Before William himself did just a moment hence remark he thought that Charles seemed quite as out of sorts as you. Perhaps it is an illness passing round?
No illness, Duchess, no. A matter that need only trouble him and I. For now.
For now.
Why, yes. Because in truth, if forced in time, it will cause problems for us all.
Please tell me what. Perhaps I might relieve the harshness of this mystery sore.
In reading here, you mustn't tell a soul what's written or not written by the king.
Here, Mr. Evans, water fetched and got by careful hand of Prince of Wales. But, Kate, what is it on that paper that makes that look? Which from experience I know tends doom and fury from a normally soft and poised face. You seem distressed. Here.
Yes, read. I take it this is not a fake.
Brought by Butler, a phone call did confirm the fact that Charles is marked there himself. And I, as people's leader, come to say this will not stand. He must allow the bill to pass both signed and unamended.
But William, why would your father decide to interfere so crassly in affairs of state? My husband, what say you?
Nothing.
Say what? Or say more, for nothing comes of nothing said.
My father's king. He may have reason that we do not know or understand as of yet. Our loyalties lie to serve the wishes of His Majesty, and here in ink is written once in black and white. So that is that.
But Mr. Evans...
Stands his ground as right he must in representing those whose votes empower him to lead. But we, as son and daughter of the crown, can only offer support and leave dispute to those with a stake in what being argued on.
You have a stake. Much more than most.
So here we are, all met. I trust the Prince of Wales and Duchess welcomed you and made you feel comfortable. Well, have they?
Yes, they have, Your Majesty.
We will depart, allowing you to talk.
Goodbye, Your Majesty and Prime Minister. We'll see you soon, I'm sure we will.
Well, there you are, Mr. Evans. And there you hold the way I feel about your law.
But how can I progress with such an act? You hope I'll take it back to Parliament.
You take it back. Say you've thought again.
But with respect, you've not the right to refuse our will like this. You're not elect.
You've spoken to Miss Stevens. And what said she?
The same, that you must sign.
Of course she said I must.
Your Majesty, if word of any part of this did reach outside these walls, division would result.
You have not changed a word?
It is the same. Were there solution evident that could enable both of us to have our way, I take it in an instant, but I know you're actually out of conscience.
That's right, and in good conscience I have thought, come the moment surely I could sigh. But when pen approaches paper thus, about to store forever my ascent and tell future generations that King Charles did let this happen, and in proof applied the value of his name beneath, the pen dries up. My hand, it cannot write.
This is your role, surely you must
But I'm not sure if ever in the past there was such a bill that did change the way that speech is granted freedom. The Queen did not, in all her years bethroned, face laws like this to pass.
I do agree. For in her time she faced far greater revolution when she lost an empire. Granted that the law on homosexuality be changed. She oversaw the alterations of the unions, mines and factories that stood for generations, to a world that Thatcherated, Reaganized, did place the profit higher value than the pride belonging to the man who travels day by day upon the Clapham omnibus. But she always signed. She always gave assent.
Well, I cannot.
And I, in turn, sir, cannot, as British leader, stand to let this go. I'm sorry, sir, but if I leave this room without King Charles imprinted here below, I cannot keep it secret, and will tell the world that simply you refuse to sign. And in addition, I'll ensure this bill becomes the law without your royal assent.
Your first assurance, making public what that newly risen king has failed to do, is your prerogative, so go ahead. But second, that you can make laws yourself without consulting head of state is wrong. My lawyers are agreed. You may not like my medicine, but you cannot legally dispute its higher authority. We draft the bill with changes that defend the independence of the press, and send it back, and I will sign immediately.
Your Majesty, no! You're sure that this is what you want to do?
Without my voice and spirit, I am dust. This is not what I want, but what I must.
With the bill concerning privacy and statutory regulation of the press, the King has unexpectedly refused to grant assent on grounds that he does not concur with what it does intend. I have done the best I can to ease his mind, but he is not persuaded, and despite his certain knowledge that the royal assent is ceremonial and not a tool, he has continued to withhold his pen. We're currently negotiating still in order to progress, but here I say importantly, that first we must defend democracy itself and leave aside our diverse views on what the bill contains. So to this end I will here make a pledge that either printed with the royal assent or standing firm without his regal sign, the measure will be law within the month.
I'm speaking from the palace to you all reluctantly tonight. I had hoped my ministers and I could find a way to circumvent a public feud like this. But driven by my conscience, I have declined to pass a law that would give the government the right and power to restrict and then decide what is acceptable to say in print. Well,
once fragile politicians can, while claiming public sensitivity, go censoring what's writ or not, it will be easier to govern as corrupt than bother being held onto account. And therefore I, who stands outside the rough and tumble of expedience, do caution them, and ask they think again. So far they have refused, so now I do as king and servant to your populace request your understanding and your trust. That is a rare but necessary act, is not me stepping too far from the throne, but is my duty, and fulfilling what the king or queen is sworn by oath to do.
Miss Jessica, here at last. Well, better late than not at all. Although I don't yet know your wish, so maybe that's not true.
Yeah, okay, I need to speak, but Harry can't know.
And here it is.
Is what?
The trouble that from years of managing these things I knew was brewing since the moment that we met.
I know you don't approve of me.
How true. But I'm late home, so tell me what you want.
Increasingly, there's stories in the news about the prince and I. They think I'm an unusual match for him, and so explore my past and present, calling up my friends.
That is to be expected, I'm afraid. There's really nothing to be done.
I know, and just so long as it's about my politics, I'm actually fine with it. But there is a buried story that they will uncover and could cause embarrassment, not just to me, but to the prince.
I see. It's for this reason I did prefer the prince to stick to Slonish bluff. At least before they split, his Cressida, although quite wild herself, was easy to predict. But now he fancies you instead. So yes, what's wrong?
3 years ago, when I was only young and starting out, I knew a boy called Finn, who was a dick, if truth be told. But because we lived in different cities, did text our love instead of meeting up.
Oh dear.
That's right.
I'm guessing where this goes.
And although I'm not the kind of girl who plays around like that, I must confess, I took a picture and, well, it was private. I was young, having fun, you know what I mean? You don't need to know the details.
I really don't.
But he last week made contact and said he'd seen the news, and since I wanted gold, he should have his. He threatened to send the photo to the Sun on Sunday if I do not pay him cash.
Well, that's a shame. But as I said, there's little I can do. It's blackmail, so you could approach police. But then I warn you leak like carrier bags and have no love for matters royal these days.
Come on! If this was Harry or the King, you would do something.
With respect, miss, you're not part of the family.
You think I'm after money?
I've no idea what you're after. I thought you hated all of us.
I do. But Harry's different. And I really don't want this to get in the way.
Well, it seems it has. And you have a choice.
I stupidly had thought that once you're king, perhaps it might reduce the angst you feel. Instead, your face has lines I've never seen before, and in this light, your hair looks far more pale than I remember. Is it worth the pain?
I don't know if you're right.
You sit there at your desk and work and read, which means we cancel trips that should be made and let down crowds who've looked forward to your presence there.
I need the time.
But that's not what the people want. Remember that the fulsome praise the Queen did most receive was that she always fulfilled her duties, even in her latest years, and similar for you. Remember when in Somerset the level sank beneath the waters of the flood? You were the first to wade into the problem and were met with clapping, admiration, and despite the upset, there are so many smiles. For you, their future king had given hope where hope had disappeared. And now they need the same. Dear Charles, I wasn't sure to tell you, but someone waits to see you here tonight. I know it's late, and when I heard they'd arrived so unannounced, I said to hold and let you finish dinner. Then we'd see your mood before granting them audience.
Not Mr. Evans, no. Tell him I'm tired.
Miss Stevens waits.
Send her in, and leave us here to speak.
Be careful, Charles. I do not trust her well. Your Majesty, please forgive how late it is. I was not keen to draw attention to the fact we have a conference tonight.
It is late. I've had enough. Cut to the chase.
Perhaps you know that Mr. Evans will, in 2 days' time, bring forth a bill within the House that makes it clear a law cannot be halted waiting for the King's assent. This bill is sure to pass, and subsequent the Bill of Privacy. And from then on, not only this particular legislation, but all other laws still to come will not appear before the monarch's eye or pen. So I'd wondered what your Majesty did plan to fix this far erroneous course. Because, you see, you only have 2 days, and I, for one, would not be happy that the influence our monarch has changed.
So you think the better evil is to take pen and sign the wretched and corrupted bill?
I'd be sad it would come to that.
What then? You speak as if you have a good idea.
Well, this is why I'm not officially here. It isn't up to me to tell the King what he is privileged to do. But if he needed inspiration, he could mull how William IV resolved a not entirely different situation.
You speak in circles. Now say what you mean.
Your Majesty, no, because I am not here. I just suggest you might research the past. I have a tingling that the next few days will, one way or another, bring disrupt tempestuous waking sleeps unto us all.
The stakes are raised again, and now I feel unease. I know well the precedent for William IV. It's cold tonight. I should insist they fix this draught that late at night blows tempests through. But no, not now. It is the same beshrouded lady who walks through the walls. You are not real. It cannot be. Go now.
My darling Charles, your face, it is so pale. You often looked and thought, but not like this.
Except my name.
You think I never loved you? That's not true. I always cared. I always wanted best. But you rejected me, and so away I went.
Diana?
But in all that time, I never hoped. I never thought.
What do you mean you never thought?
Never reckoned on the fact that you as Crown, who worries about the way you look, and stroke your hair down into place, and nervously do touch above your lip when getting sad, will be the greatest king we ever have.
The greatest king? But stop! Please wait! I didn't understand! Explain! But no. It drifts away like mist at dawn. Oh God, if anyone did see me now.
Their brand new king, who sleepless runs towards the made-up nonsense in his head. Yet, she is beautiful. I know the walk.
The greatest king! What did that mean? My mother ruled for 70 years. She must be counted straight away a greater crown. Unless implied the ghost, a single deed that's done or not.
A punctuation that, making stronger impact hitting once, does with surprising shock and awe achieve what slow experience could not.
Perhaps there's wisdom in insomnia, and sleep does drive me where awake I fear.
In sense I fold and pay the heavy debt, but madness says to play and up the bet.
It is a strange and ambulance night. I lay flat out, but then there was a noise that woke me in a second. Aye, it was a scream, I thought, the kind that I have heard when women inconsolable and full of tears do try to breathe. But not for years, since through the doors and walls of my lost mother's bedroom, and we can hear her cry herself to sleep at night, have I heard such a shriek as that. You're not usually up this early in the morn, unless for you it's still the night before.
I'm sure I heard a scream.
So did I.
So like my mother's voice, it freaked me out.
I've checked, and there is nothing going on.
That's the story of my life. Once woke, I lay and thought, I've had enough. You'll be king, and Kate your queen. And even if our father's making waves, at least he's allowed to choose his course. Well, I'm doomed forever just to chase his wake. A ginger joke. Bereft of value.
The way our father acts, the joke may be on all of us.
But then I turned to Jessica, who slept tonight with me. And she had gone, and in her place a note which read, she thought it would never work. She would embarrass me, she said.
I thought your Jessica did cheer the mood. The two of you had fun.
We have. She does, and not just fun. We have done things that most do every day, but I assume was not within my compass royal. She doesn't blink at me and ope my eyes. The world does seem wide now, with more depth and shape, but
with this new perspective, I do only feel more trapped, more narrowed down by this, the family.
It is a passing mood. There will be girls to come. There always have been before.
Oh, his hate, she'll make me feel worse. I'll go and find a greasy spoon, and maybe when I return, our father will have blown this all to kingdom come, and I'll be free at last. Oh.
What is it, husband, troubles you like this?
The trouble that you have, me counsellor, so long ago, but which I did ignore. You're right, of course. My father's waited too long to call the crown his own, and now he overestimates its worth and makes it ruler over king himself. So Gollum-like he craven fears to sign this bill, in case the precious crown shouts, weakling, traitor king.
And therefore you must go persuade at once your father of the damage he inflicts.
You know I cannot, for ever since Mum died, he's wondered if myself and Harry are more loyal to mother lost than to father who survived an age. Ever to question him on such a subject when he will be embattled and besieged will in a second make him draw away. Instead, I've called forth the Prime Minister.
You mean he'll be here in the morning, right?
Why no, I called for him at once, tonight.
Your Highness, Mr. Evans waits outside.
Well, right on cue. He's punctual as well. Please show him in.
I will, Duchess.
Go back to bed. You can leave this all to me.
I will not go. For surely some day you will be king, but on that day I am as much the queen. And I do not intend to be a silent partner in that regal match. Good Mr. Evans, what a kindness shown to rise from bed at early hour thus. I fear my family does cause you pains.
My lady, I cannot pretend that yes, my life would be a joy in recent weeks if Britain was a republic.
I've heard you intend to call together the members of the House and propose the exclusion of the Crown from making law.
Tomorrow, yes.
Tomorrow? What, so soon?
Ideally, I preserve our current mode, but as things are, I haven't got a choice.
Would you consider waiting a week and giving time to let my father change?
Already we have waited, and he changes not.
But what if William went at earliest hour to see his father and persuade
No,
him?
Kate, I can't.
What time's the vote?
It's 12 o'clock.
Like Catherine, I did make it clear I'll not inflict the same division on ourselves that currently just tear at our country. Instead, I wondered if the Prime Minister might have one more attempt. I cannot think that if my father truly understood...
He comprehended well. He will not sign. I have no choice.
My nervous future king! You must go now and tell him what to do. Because it is not just him or you risk by sitting here and doing nothing thus. It is our children, and their children hence, and after that, all generations royal that are to come in future years, they all do look to you, insisting you defend the crown against this fool's indulgence. I say this not as future queen, but just as British woman, proud of both my state and king, with an understanding that it is a balance and a contradiction between those elected and those born to rule that is unique, and just protect and make us all.
It wouldn't change a thing. He is too proud.
They think not only of persuading him, but finding lever so he must agree.
What lever?
Say the thing that must be said. The fact that both of us command support that does near thrice outweigh the aged king, and, if we wanted, might begin to itch in waiting for the throne.
You stop right now.
I think, perhaps, that I will leave you both.
I say what you two gentlemen will not. There is another way to solve this thing.
That is the opposite of all that I believe. I'll never step across my father's rights.
In that case, Mr. Evans, fare thee well. Good luck tomorrow casting off the last remains of ancient and outdated royals.
I'm sorry it has come to this. I really am.
You did embarrass him.
He's fine. And laughs at us as we decline. My husband, look at me. My love for you is full and as the moment that we met. I do not think you weak at all, but wrong. Become the man I know you are and act.
I am not king. My wife knows not that in the years before my grandmother did pass away, she sat with me for hours at a time, and because I made a point to ask, did talk to me about what she had learned. She told me that temptation lies as a royal to act and speak and lead, when actually our greatest influence is through our standing still, not rash, but never changing. A great crown is made by dint of always being there. I'll keep my silence. and let life unfold. What's that? Perhaps it's Kate coming back. But not from her direction. Maybe something. Oh God, glimmering and covering form!
Oh, William.
She cries my name. I know that voice!
Oh, William. You're now the man I never lived to see. So tall and proud.
Mum?
But still, the face remains the same, the eyes hold kindness, yes, but suffering too. Such pain, my son, such hurt. But now, be glad. You'll be the greatest king we ever had.
Don't go! This comes of waking wrongly in the night. Perhaps some sleep will solve the problem, but awake I cannot. So I'll go to bed. But the greatest king. That's what they said.
Yes, love?
Oh, come back, please.
Oh, too late. I just switched off.
Please, I'll pay more.
Okay. Donna?
Yeah.
Long night?
I think I want to quit my job.
Be careful about that way things are. I mean, we all have crap jobs, don't we? Maybe it's different for you. You sound a bit posh. No, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but perhaps you could ask your mum and dad for some
My
help.
mum's dead.
Ah, right. Mine too. Well, I suppose everybody's mother dies one day.
Yeah.
Even the king. His mother dies and he doesn't even cry. What's that all about? Anyway, why do you want to quit then?
I think I'm in love.
Pretty girl.
Yeah.
You want to run off with them? Start in love.
Maybe.
It's just warming up. That'll be 480. It's out of date now, isn't it?
Suppose so.
You know, since she died, world's gone mad. I swear, every night people come here and they want a kebab and coke. They all have this look. It's a bit like you. They're terrified. And I think I know why. They don't know where they live. They don't know what Britain is anymore.
What do you mean?
Well, piece by piece, Britain's less and less. You cut the army, that's one bit gone. Squeeze the NHS. Scotland threatens independence. The post office gone. Pub shut, less and less. Smaller all the time. And when does Britain get so cut down it's not Britain anymore?
You think that's now?
Well, the Queen's dead. If you take enough layers away, what's left underneath? You know what I mean? Maybe she's what held it all together.
I've got no layers left.
What? Here you are. So where's the girl of yours then?
She left me.
Well, do you love her?
Yeah, I think I do.
Well, that's something then. Go on, find her. Good night.
That for centuries has held us to the castle. And so it's not the moment to become a bunch of children, stamping up and down. Both major party leaders will now speak, and then we'll vote, and therefore, the way they're passed, by special measures made, the bill will pass straight to the House of Lords, who even now wait upon us to take this vote. So first, the Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And because we know the facts upon the matter well, I will unusually be very brief. Our Parliament exists to make sure that the people of our country do decide the codes and principles by which they live. It is a contract made between a man or a woman and the state, for which both sides must there agree that citizen has a voice, and in return will keep the law. And so an intervention in this way that so removes the voice but law remains is absolutely wrong. And in this House must every vote support this vital bill.
I make assumption that we all will vote in favour of this bill. For we all have now made a choice to come and represent constituents to have their say in this their house, and give their weight and influence to the shaping of a government and law.
Yes.
Although we have Crown as head of state, both history and precedent do hold him in his place. And now he oversteps, so we must act, and not impertinent or rude or out of disrespect, but because we have no other choice than to protect our democratic British way of life.
Yeah. So, by ancient decree, we will divide the House to vote. We will divide the House to vote, eyes to the right. Please, before we vote, someone go see what causes this infernal knocking.
Empowered by ancient decree, I do as King of England, Northern Ireland, Wales and Scotland, use my royal prerogative to here dissolve the Parliament at once. This noise demeans you all. Is this the space where public will is spoke and heard, or just a stand for juvenile and selfish squall? Through petty theft and fighting here amongst yourselves, you lost the population's trust. Unlike you all, I'm born and raised to rule. Or you have small constituent support which gusts and falls, as does the wind. My cells and organs constitute this land, devoted to entire populace, of then, of now, and all those still to come. And in their interest, in their voice, the Speaker knows it is within my right to sack my ministers and call a fresh election. My Speaker, will you here confirm to them that what I do is well within my right and anointed power as King to demand?
Your Majesty, if this is what you wish, then this you can as King command.
Of a girl in
bet.
Wait, do I know you? Don't think so. I think I do.
Hi.
Oh, come on, you can't be here. You might be lynched now on your own.
I'm not my own.
What?
Terry.
Yes, sir?
Is there anything job?
Yes, sir. For now.
That's how I found you. I saw the story, it's okay.
Harry, none of my friends are talking to me. Every second, people recognise me and laugh, and I never wanted any of it. I don't want anything to do with that, or you not anymore.
You mean that?
Yes! Just go home!
I don't know what to do without you.
You'll be okay!
There must be a way.
No, mate, you're a prince, and you always will be.
Sir, we should be moving. I'll go ahead and clear the way.
Jess, I've got an idea. Come with me back to the palace.
No.
One last chance, please. Just give me an hour.
It won't work.
It might.
I'm a Republican.
I know, but you're beautiful. Please. Sir Gordon, thanks indeed for coming at such short notice. Would you like a drink?
Your Majesty, I am refreshed and keen to hear of how I could be of use.
The crowds outside. You hear? It's every day.
Yes, I know.
They're passionate, from what I can tell, extremely keen for my untimely death.
They're unemployed and students. All they're looking for is a good excuse to make some noise. It's fine.
I'm reminded of that day, the year it was that I was married to Diana. And on the trooping of the colour, when the Queen was riding out in front and trotting down the mall in glorious sunshine, there came from somewhere in the crowd 6 shots, aimed at my mother, echoing around.
It's natural, sir, that you'll be concerned with this constant rabble, rave and shout, but rest assured, you are protected well.
It is the troops out front that bother me. Please have them tripled. At all times I want 12 men to be there, visible to all.
Your Majesty, these men are there for tourist ceremony, not defence. If it's your safety...
It is my preservation, and I know that will be served by what the public see. The truth is, my greatest enemies stand not within the crowd outside, but there, in Whitehall, waiting for the slightest glimpse of weakness.
So I see. You want a show of strength. Perhaps, Your Majesty, I can suggest that in these times of severely heightened threat, it would be wise not only to increase the armed guard that stand outside the gate from 4 to 28 from day to night, but perhaps we park upon the terrace a tank or similar large and armoured vehicle. It's important that we send a message out that makes it clear the King's supported well. We shall write indeed that when the forces are joined, we all swear that come what may, we shall protect the King, and so we will.
The leader of the opposition, sir.
Send her in.
Your Majesty, Sir Gordon, greetings both. I promise to ensure you're updated as to how the House of Commons responds towards the intervention of the King.
Yes, well.
It is a mixed bag, of course. There are those on both sides who strongly feel that we should go back to the people and, as you've decreed, seek re-election to the House. And then if we're successful, think about a change.
Or not.
Or not, precisely right indeed. There are those that are resolute that we should not dissolve and should instead, in contravention of the royal decree, continue with the House and make a legislation that will stop the King from interfering from the state.
Then Miss Stevens, take the message back. The King is stubborn, and he will not move. The surest and smoothest course would be to make a new election, and thereby will ask the people to resolve our spat.
This is what I will press on all of them. A steady course to chart the rocky seas.
Your Majesty, if there's nothing else, I'll go organise the extra troops outside.
There is nothing else. Thank you, Sir Gordon.
What's all this talk of troops and loaded guns?
The Parliament refused to budge an inch, and like a horde of squatters occupy a house they are not entitled to.
But all these people, generals, judges, Miss Stevens, none of them would be people as you in normal circumstance would trust.
Your Majesty, forgive me bursting in like this, but news has broken out today. There is another problem.
Yes, what problem now?
Oh, Harry, we don't see enough of you.
Father, Camilla, this is my friend Jess. She studies at St. Martin's College.
St. Martin's College? Good, so you're an art.
Yes, sir, if I can interrupt.
Oh yes, James says a crisis looms once more. So good to meet you, Jess. But
I think that James's crisis stands within this room.
You are correct.
What do you mean, this room?
Please, Dad, if I can be allowed to speak. For reasons you don't need to understand, a picture made of Jessica that is quite intimate has made its way into the London papers and will no doubt grace the nationals as well. There's been attack towards her worse than I've seen against Kate or you or me or Mum. I think because of class, the public's less comfortable with someone like themselves. But let me tell you, she is something else to anything our family has known. I can now see my life before was full of stupid idiocy to so distract me from a sadness kept within. Distract me because I had nothing to love. And though you and William are most loving in familial ways, I never had someone to share thoughts with. Someone who took the time to work out who I was and what I really needed. She has done all this and more. Fulsome nature makes me laugh and think and grow. She's free, so free. And now she wants to leave me because of this.
I've never heard you speak in such a way, with passion, strength, and rhythm too.
My son has spoken, but the lady's quiet. Come, Jessica, please tell me what you think.
He's right. That in the last few weeks, we formed a relationship that is unique. I do not want to leave your son. But instead, every hand in London touch on me tonight. I feel such shame. It is unbearable.
So if I can add perspective to this well-intentioned but ill-fated match.
I know what you will think, dear James. I need not hear it now. Dear Jessica, you have done nothing wrong. I understand the picture causes shame, and there's little we can do about that. But Harry is bewitched by you, and though I once did question what love meant, I now see it standing here before me, so desperate, begging you stay. So yes, you have my word, you have the royal protection and respect. Whatever you want, we will help. You will be welcome in our family.
But sir,
It isn't that we want!
Oh, come, Harry, now it's done! Your father has been generous with time and inclination!
I do not want her noble princess maid! Instead, to send me into the mass. Cast off this princely burden of my birth, and for my life, be Harry. Man and friend with car and job and house and maybe wife.
It isn't possible!
You would not be a prince. I'd be your son. But no. My love for Jessica comes first because, like you, I don't believe that born a prince must mean I sacrifice my hopes, soul, desires, all that makes me, me.
You are like opposites in every way. But the similarity does instead make a match. So yes, Harry, you may do as you wish.
Sir, whatever you may do, this story is only distraction when the throne itself is in dispute. Perhaps at least postpone this alteration to when you are safely crowned king.
All right, then after the coronation, yes?
Okay.
Okay.
And James, in case the press persists, will see the lady is defended, yes? You have something to say.
Your Majesty? No. I'll do as you command.
Well, good. For though my problems are the same, through Harry's love, I'm driven on again.
It is bewildering that even now these little rooms of power are stocked full with white, southern, like the Oxbridge men. Without the Queen, the bias is more stark. The King's a man, Prime Minister as well. Combine the front benches of both sides, you'll have a female total of just 4. And so despite emancipation, we must look towards the harder sex to find the power. But I know nothing. Just a plastic doll, designed, I'm told, to stand, embodying a male-created, bland and standard wife, whose only job is prettying the prince, and then, if possible, get pregnant with the royal and noble bump, to there produce some heirs. And in all this, I'm told I don't have thought, or brains, to comprehend my strange position. But being underestimated so does give me what these men could never have. Since no one asked me what I think, I can observe, and plan, and learn the way to rule. For I will be a queen unlike the ones before. Yes, this is what, enthroned, that I will do. Not simply help my husband in his crown, but wear one of my own. But here's my husband, he's been on the phone. How did it go?
I asked him of his plans.
His plans?
Of what he did intend to do now there's violent protest up and down the country between supporters of the crown and those that want its swift and complete demise.
And what said he?
He simply said the strength of public voice and strong support had given solace that he wasn't wrong.
This is an answer clear enough to me. Charles is stranded, using what's to hand does smile and say this was always the plan, when what he hopes is that from out the blue there'll grow a noise, a chopping engine sound, and through the clouds a helicopter comes, and lowering down its harness, quickly scoops him up, and lifts the tired, reckless man to safety from the bleak and troubled rock.
Your Highness, the Prime Minister.
I didn't ask him here.
I know.
Duchess, you asked to see Sir Michael.
You are kind to come attend on us when you must be distracted indeed.
Distract is right.
Please tell us latest news.
Last night I saw violence spark across the land. In Liverpool, protests made towards the Mersey, lifting effigy that were based off your father. Burnt it bright and dropped in the sea. In Oxford, marches have formed on both sides, and even as we speak, they clash. Edinburgh, the same. Belfast. In Norfolk, one poor man was pushed through glass. Now he does lie in most intensive care. But London is the worst.
The worst?
We are, Your Highness, much too stretched.
Then find reserves to flood the
Reserves
streets.
are out! No more to come. Best, won't be last another day.
Then we should let you continue. Our thanks.
The Speaker will not open up the House because he fears it is illegal as things stand. And so the members of Parliament do sit just as 400 years ago in Westminster Hall instead. But because we've only half the House, we can't make laws.
Services are functioning well. Schools, transport, health.
No, sir. Schools have closed. Doctors are stretched. The bloodshed worsens each day we wait, and while we in the House attempt to calm, the King has generals round to tea and parks a tank in Buckingham Palace grounds. Perhaps exaggeration, but there is talk of civil war.
A joke?
It's not at all.
The British stock, which was considered safe, has in 2 short weeks completely crashed.
Prime Minister, I, of course, in private do wholeheartedly give my full support. But this is a matter for Parliament to solve.
Oh, William, they can't! Parliament is impotent and has just become a meeting house of men. The time has come to go and halt this mess.
Your Highness, please, your wife is quite correct.
I can't.
For George!
You must not make me.
And sir, I think you'll be prince no more, and none who follow will be king again.
You are a man of serious intent. Throughout our recent troubles, you've shown my father great respect and courtesy. Prime Minister, go back to number 10. You can leave it to me. I'll bring an end to this unnecessary episode.
I thank you, sir. An intervention's what we need.
You set me up.
I lifted you, my one, to where by right of birth you ought to be.
Then if it's done at once.
I know the way.
The way?
We told the world to play of surfaces where meaning's made through only what is shown. You must focus then upon the public eye. You dress your best, and so of course shall I. And we thought this room would serve us well. A neutral colour, good acoustics, and a space to house the country's journalists.
Not just the country. All across the world, the people wait to hear directly from the king.
Of course, that's true.
Would you be one of them?
You mean a king?
I mean a man or a woman standing there in front of the camera's gaze, instead of you or I who seek to do the best we can while sitting from the public's view.
This may seem strange, but sometimes when I wake up from nightmares where I've been on TV and something's happened, perhaps a light has blown or a chair collapsed, but I'm shocked and jumping look ridiculous. And then that clip goes viral, and from then on, I am the woman who jumped. 'Tis a matter of my life, and when I die, it'll be what is writ. Not all I did and wanted and achieved, but that. A captured idiocy stuck on repeat. Your Majesty, welcome. This is the microphone into which you'll speak, and the auto cue is there.
It's good, thank you. How long do we now have?
Perhaps we'll let them in 5 minutes.
In that case, let us have a moment to prepare.
Of course, I'll be next door, just let me know.
William, what's this? I didn't think you'd be here. I thought you disapproved.
I'll always serve the interest of the crown.
As family, we should be seen as one. James says it's what they will expect of us.
So it was James convinced you to come?
It was in conversation, yes, we thought it'd be best to appear like this. How are the arrangements, James, you spoke about?
As often with TV, a scrambled mess, but all should be sufficient for our needs.
I don't know how to thank you, James. It will now be with strength and pride of clan that I stand my ground and state my case.
Will stand indeed.
Your Highness, Duchess. Yes, ma'am. You stand there, and your highness just to the right hand of his majesty.
As always, James, you've thought of everything. The picture here, like this, is now complete. The family will be my backdrop, and the news will say the country's safe and clear united.
So, are we ready now?
We are. Proceed.
We'll make a start in 60 seconds' time. Is everyone arranged where they can see? That's good. So, 30, 20, 10. Live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon. Gosh, there's quite a few of you. So thank you all for coming in today, and for the people listening in at home across the country and the Commonwealth. My wife and I have been so shocked by scenes unfolding both here and overseas. My father has, through noble conscience says, as is his right, he will withhold assent. And furthermore, as is legal too, he has dismissed elected government. Of course, this has resulted in disquiet, not just in the homes and streets, or in the house, but in our family too. My wife and I do respect my father's choices, but do so wish it could have been avoided. And so today, I, as Prince of Wales, from now will try to mediate between King and House of Commons. I'm convinced there is a way to move on this without the need for further violence, and respecting both democracy and the ancient British power of anointed king. I have my father's blessing in this role. He has as keen as I to see an end to this destructive and divisive time. I'm also lucky to have Catherine too. But actually, all of this was her idea. It turns out she's cleverer than all of us. She'll sort us out. My father's finding this quite difficult at the moment, as you'd imagine, so needs his support. Forgive me if I don't take questions now, but once we're up and running, I will speak again. Perhaps we'll just do photographs. Thank you, Nick and John.
I've been through the archive many times, but read as king, each word seems made afresh.
I've been seeking moments which relate precisely to the current state of play. Our English law is based on precedent, so when the time comes to state my case, I must have all the facts to hand. Moments when monarchs from the past have done the same as I, or very near.
And so here's Walter Bagehot, 1867, explaining changes to the balance of crown and state. I read it as a child.
One line stands out. Bagehot explains that now the monarch's mostly ceremonial, and only one can expect the right to be consulted,
Which I've not.
the right to encourage,
Which is all I do.
and the right to warn.
The right to warn, sir. Warning is the thing. It's only what I do. I warn. But even that I'm told's too much, and so must tolerate this constant fuzz of bright white noise that emanates out from the mob.
Your Majesty,
Roberts?
James Rees waits outside.
The traitor's at the gate. What does he want?
To see you, sir. He'll say no more than that.
Allow him in. Knew what William would say to them.
Indeed, I made it possible for him to speak.
You ambushed me.
It was just as he said, the Duchess's idea. And William, knowing not just that I desired the bill against the press to pass, but that I thought your current course of action fatal to the strong, continued influence of the Crown, did suggest this plan, which, although I knew would cause you pain, did think that when all was weighed, would be thought of as the best.
It matters not. It will not work. For I am not in need of mediation here.
But sir, you must...
You're surely not intending still to work for me, not after treachery like this.
Your son has offered me employment.
Then leave. You said your bit.
And sir, farewell.
Your Majesty, we need to speak.
Your Majesty? But William, it's me. Despite the horrid things you've done, it's me. So call me father or dad if you like, but not your Majesty like all the rest.
I call you that, but that's what you are. Long before my father, long before all else, you are the king. And that's to whom I speak.
But William, come, look at this. A book. It's Bagot from the ancient archive. Here it does enlighten on the changing way the monarch has influence over the state. It is a thing of quiet beauty.
You think too much on books and history.
What is power held if never used?
Our duty is not to simply sit inside and hope all is resolved, but to engage all parties and attempt to find a way.
Engage all parties? Kings no such duty.
A duty royal, that's shared amongst us all.
I speak harshly, William, but I do not request your counsel. I do not need another view. Instead, it is support expected, and support that you must give. Your action yesterday was infantile. It does not change anything. You should apologize for such betrayal.
You can't go back from your decision now.
Agreed, retreating now would be the end.
And yet, you can't progress. Parliament will never hold elections as you wish.
We'll see.
So I propose, on Coronation Day, we have 2 thrones upon the dais placed, and sat on cushions next to them are 2 crowns, awaiting royal heads to rest.
2 thrones, 2 crowns? Britain and Commonwealth cannot function as you suggest, with having 2 kings rule in tandem.
No, not 2 kings, a king and queen.
You mean Camilla? Of course, oft we have discussed.
Camilla, no.
Then what do you intend? Because if it's what I think, then you must speak the words of treachery yourself, and shank your father with a clear and full betrayal.
I mean myself and Kate are crowned instead.
And what of me? I simply stand aside.
You offer abdication and explain since taking on the role you felt your age.
There's something in that face I recognize. A reckless expression, so bold. It was Diana where I saw it last. And I had hoped it had died with her. But here it is in you, ambition lurks.
I'm proud of that ambition. Proud of her, who died so young before she knew the world, and plucked from the world was thrust into a den of lions keen for meat, and offered no protection. And when you decided to return to one you always loved, you threw my mum aside, discarded and destroyed her by repute.
I loved your mother at the time, and did my very best to make sure you were not harmed.
Did your best, and that will be your tombstone. This is a job. You should have got it right, and you did not. There doesn't have to be this constant turbulence you've brought. I will, as king, return to what your mother did. Stability and certainty, above all else.
I will not abdicate! Ungrateful boy! I know, don't ask me how, that I will be the greatest king of all!
The greatest king? And so you shall, for when they write the history books about this, they will tell stories, crisis-like, about the stormy days after the Queen had died, and how for weeks on end you contemplated about the right and proper thing to do, and in the end decided for the good of all your people and their long-term happiness, you'd selfishly stand down and pass it on to younger hands more popular and with more time to reign. Mr. Evans?
No, go! I do not wish to see you now.
Your Majesty, this is a sorry day, but if you cannot sign the law, then you must make way for one who can. Your good repute will be preserved and monarchy survive. I've brought here a document which makes official abdication, so that we can achieve a common goal, stability.
Who made this thing, this paper here?
The civil service drew it up today.
And printed out in haste. There are mistakes in spelling.
Will you sign?
I will not.
Is it true?
It is.
A vile and nasty child! And what's that document you're holding there? You must do nothing until we have consulted with experts on the Constitution and the lawyers that we pay so much money to. I thought it Harry who was wild, but you have now by far surpassed his worst excess. Charles would not sign the bill, he will not this. I realise you and Catherine are the king and queen of column inches, but you're just a duke and duchess
Here, the king is king. He will not sign. Now both of you away.
Your thin opinion of us demonstrates how out of touch you are, and jealous too. Majesty, sign and bring an end to this.
My son, your loyalty, your relationship with Jessica has been a burning light through these darkest days.
The people look to William. It is the only way I am convinced.
Harry, please. My boys, my little boys.
We'll have tea and sit and be your sons. But first, you abdicate.
And if I don't?
Then we will leave. Yes, us and Kate and George and family else. This is tough love, but we're deciding it's best. We will not return till you change your mind.
I will not see my sons. Or grandson, too. I cannot live alone.
You are not alone, and even if you were, well, better that than father's servant to your shallow sons. The man I married will not bend or break. Instead, as all the world grows rotten fruit, he will stand firm and tie his life onto the stake of principle. You boys should go and take this spiteful drip. He is not worthy of the office that he has.
I cannot live alone. The greatest king.
So there, it's done. The king is at an end. I will retreat to bed. And when I wake to a new dawn, I'll simply be an old forgotten gardener who potters round and talks to plants and chuckles to himself, whilst far away the king and queen do rule over a golden age of monarchy that bothers no one, does no good, and is a pretty plastic picture with no meaning.
Miss Jessica, why do you look so lost and stand unoriented in the Abbey aisle?
I'll tell you not, for you have no love for me. The king said help, but now it's even worse. There's every picture from my wayward youth made weekly fodder in the Daily Mail, and any minor misdemeanor makes a banner headline in the Sun.
I've tried my best to help. These stories do us both no good at all. So what's your problem, miss?
The seating plan. My name does not appear.
Well, let me see. It's true. There is no Jessica. You're sure the prince did make his invitation known?
I'm sure.
Then perhaps it would be best to find out from the man himself. But here he is, so handsome in his uniform. Your Highness, yes, it's such a lovely day. Although I wouldn't know it from your pale and cloudy face. Here's Jessica, who seems omitted from the seating plan. Perhaps you'll know a little bit more about this than I.
Okay, so where am I supposed to sit?
You'll not attend today's William and Kate Crown. You'll have to watch outside.
Outside, but why? Harry?
My brother. Talking with his wife and close advisors. Bearing little photographs and stories of your past that do appear in mine. It does feel it would be better for you not to attend. You are too big a risk to what he needs. Stability. And furthermore, he has asked me personally if I would stop all contact with you and resume the way I was before. A singleton. Amusing mostly, clownish, unthreatening.
Hope you quickly told him where to go.
He is my brother.
Are you joking?
But more than that, he's now anointed king.
So, king can tell you what to feel and who you love. The king's the dictator of your heart.
My heart was made by king. If I betray allegiance, the little that I am is gone.
But things have changed, he has to understand. And if you loved me, you'd fight this. Or if I have to go, you'd come with me.
I want to. It's starting to.